Hey guys, welcome back to Manny's Game Room. As you can see, I've got a bit of an upgrade happening with our retro area. I've totally revamped the sound and lighting, and I'm going to tell you all about how I did it and how to do it for not much money at all. So, I'll just turn the lights back on. As you can see, I've got some lighting in the back there and some brand new speakers. I never really thought much about speakers with gaming, but the older I've gotten and being a music teacher, I've noticed more and more how important the music is in games. And these speakers have really beefed up the game room. I've got a tower here and a tower here. And then we've got this subwoofer here. So that gives the bass. And then there's this center speaker here. And that sort of creates that surround sound. What I've realized is you can't just hook speakers up to games or gaming systems. Every gaming system I've got goes into the TV. And then the TV has this monitor out at the back. So an RCA out, like red, white, yellow wires. And what you actually need is an amplifier like this. This is a Yamaha one. It's 5 channels, so that's why I can work 5 different speakers at once. So this subwoofer also acted as an amp, but it only had 2 channels. So it took me a while to work all this stuff out, and I pressed a couple of buttons and got lucky. But this Yamaha is what controls it all. So this subwoofer here is controlling my bass, and here, this controls the volume. So if you can hear that now. Probably a bit hard to hear on the phone, but that's not even half the power. So when you're playing games like Lord of the Rings or action games or anything, it really sounds cool. I'll turn it back down, sorry. So even the retro games sound great because it brings out the bass in those as well. So I was really lucky. I went through Marketplace, Facebook Marketplace, and I found this guy, and he's like, oh, I've got these speakers and you can have them. So he gave them to me because he didn't have all the parts, and they turned out being junk. So I drove an hour round trip to pick up speakers that I pretty much got to the side of the road and ended up dumping anyway because I did a little bit of research and I talked to ChatGPT on my way home, and I realized that what I had was junk. So that's the thing about this sort of upgrading and trying to find a great deal. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. So the next night I found another guy, and I went into his house and it was out the middle of nowhere, and I thought, geez, this looks so dodgy. And I walked in and his house smelled like a certain herb. And he was such a nice guy, and he took me all through it, and he sold all that to me for 30 bucks. So, which is a really cool deal. And then it inspired me to move my room about a bit. I've got this retro cabinet now over here, and it just creates so much space in the room. I'm gonna hang my Brisbane Broncos jersey up there. And so that's my story of my sound speakers. So cool. As for my lighting, as you saw before, all I did was I went on AliExpress and I got these LED strips here. So you see those? And all they just stick on, like stickers, you just peel them off, stick them on. They go into a little unit that's powered. So I've got, sorry, mind my mess back there. And so they just work like that. And what my boys really love is they come with this remote here. I'll turn the lights off. Mind my mess. Here. And there they are again. And then they just like that you can press different colors. See, it's just with the remote there. Or we'll also like that you can press flash. Flash is our favorite setting because then it just constantly changes the colors for you. So I've also been able to hook up my laptop computer because there's some PC CD-ROM games I absolutely love, and I just can't play them on any other computer, and that laptop's a tank. I've had it for 25 years and I decided to just store it away. So basically what I'm going to do is hook it into this VGA when I want to use it. There's a VGA on the side here, and then I've also split that output with this using this splitter. So I've got all types of things going. So everything, basically the way I've set it up is everything you see goes into the TV, and the TV has an output called monitor out. I put my monitor out into the back of this Yamaha, and then I hooked all the speakers up to that Yamaha. And now everything I play in here absolutely pumps. And it looks so cool at night now with all the lighting and all that. And I love that I've moved this retro cabinet over here. And that's pretty much it. Oh, what I also really like, I knocked myself over. Here we go. All right, what I also really like is that I've got my retro cabinet here, as usual, but I lost my display on top here. I had a lot of displayed stuff, but I totally love that I've got these bookshelf. It looks like a bookshelf here now on this speaker with some of my favorite sports games. So especially this one. This is probably one I played the most as a kid here, E.T.'s Rugby League. And I just love the graphics of it. So the way they used to draw the logos here, and then the gameplay, all that stuff. All these games were really cool. WrestleMania, classic. What else have I got here? As you can see, I'm a big sports fan game. This rugby game, that's on the Amiga. Super cool game. The goal kicking mech was really fun. I used to play that at my uncle's house a lot, and I won the World Cup. And of course, NBA Live 95, that box art's just so iconic to me because that's the time when NBA was great. Look at that backing there, all those photos. So NBA works great. And also, as you probably saw before, my ARL 96. I'm a big rugby league fan. I grew up playing rugby league, and now I coach my son's team, which is pretty awesome. I've also got this Nintendo here. My old Nintendo's crapped out, but this is a clone console. It does exactly what a Nintendo does. So it plays Nintendo games in it as a top loading system there. Everything else is going really well, except for my Atari. The capacitor's gone, so it still plays, but it's very snowy. I've got this PlayStation. It's not hooked up because the PlayStation 2 is like my PlayStation 1. I've got these, this Xbox 360 modded, so it plays Xbox original, and it also plays Xbox 360, and you can save games onto there. My 64 has been HD modded, and it plays really well. You can also play this Summer Kart, and that's a Flash 64 drive. So you can play pretty much, it's got almost every Nintendo 64 game on there you would want. So that plays really well. Just some loose cartridges here. That game's cool. Cheap, but cool. Jurassic Park, how classic's that game? And then everything's just hooked up and working. I can't wait. First game my boys and I are gonna play is bowling on the Wii, and I have a feeling the sound's just gonna be amazing. So anyway, that's pretty much it. I just wanted to show and document what we've got here. Hope maybe it gives you some ideas. I got my sports memorabilia here. I've still got some more sports memorabilia upstairs, signed by Patrick Mahomes and all those sorts of guys. And yeah, I've got this really cool Brisbane Broncos jersey I really want to put right there. I was going to put a retro computer there. I could probably fit a little desk in, but it would just take up too much space, and the room would just get swallowed up. So anyway, I just thought I'd document what I did. I'm so excited about these speakers and how they pump. And the bigger systems like PlayStation 2, Xbox, they really show off the power of these speakers. So anyway, if you've got any questions about how to set up, message me, and I'm happy to help you out and give you some advice. But yeah, overall, spending 30 bucks on some speakers turned out to be the best thing for my game room in a long time. I hope you enjoy the rest of your May, and good luck.